Hello, welcome to today's live show. This is Let's Grow Show. Who is joining me tonight? Tonight promises to be an exciting one. We are having a wonderful guest tonight. So, who is joining me tonight? Let me know in the comment section who is joining me tonight. I'm so excited for today's episode. I'm so excited. So excited because massive value will be dished out today. Massive value will be dished out today. Massive value. So who is joining me tonight? We have a great guest tonight that will be dishing out great value for us tonight. He promised that he will be giving us value overload tonight. Value overload tonight. So who is joining me tonight? Let me know when you join. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. This is Let's Grow Show. It's a show where we'll learn how to grow our business and personal life. This show helps us to learn, digital tools, digital skills, and get knowledge useful for our business and personal growth. So tonight we'll be talking about prosperity indicators, skills to predictably prosper in any economy. So who is joining me tonight? My guest is waiting in the green room so that I will bring him up. Who is joining me tonight? Let me appreciate you and acknowledge you for joining me. Who is joining me tonight? If you join, let me know in the comment section. Say hi or hello in the comment section. I can acknowledge you and appreciate you. So tonight is going to be value upon value, value upon value. So let me bring up my guest. My guest is a renowned digital marketer. He's a renowned digital marketer and an international business consultant. So let me bring him up. Before I bring him on, please, if you join, let me know in the comment section. If you know, let me join. If you join, let me know in the comment section, please, so that I can acknowledge you and appreciate you. And go tell your friends, anyone that you know that is going to be needing the information we are going to pass across tonight. Let the person come on board. Tell them, share the link. Tell them, let them come. Let them come. Let them come. So the person we are bringing up tonight is Enun Jr. He's a digital solution consultant and a finance coach. So he's going to be giving us massive value tonight. Before I bring him on, let me check my comment section. Okay, let me bring him on. Whoa. You're welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Yeah, sure, I can.
Okay.
We good?
So you're welcome to the show. Before you came up live, I was trying to introduce you. So let me just do that before we go into the business proper. Let me do that briefly. So this is Enun Jr. He's a digital solution consultant and a finance coach. He's the founder of Savvy Room and Global Fingers, a global brand that helps growth-focused organizations on digital marketing and solutions. He's the future of digital marketing, just believe me, and an international businessman. If you want your business to go global, he's the plug you need. And finally, he's the sales and marketing lead at Seller. You know Seller, the platform that helps digital entrepreneurs and creators to sell their digital products. So this Enun, we welcome you to this show tonight. We really appreciate you for coming in tonight. Please, before we go to the business of today, I would like you in 1 minute, please prepare our minds. Tell us what we are going to be getting tonight. What are we going to expect tonight? Please let us know in 1 minute.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I was just sharing out the links now myself personally because we have to get as many people in here as possible. So please just give me a second to complete. Yes. Am I good? Am I audible?
Okay, let me appreciate those that are joining me. Covenant, Pius, thank you for joining. From Lagos, thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. Please, if you join, let me know in the comment section. All right.
Can you hear me? Am I good?
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you for. Uh, yes, because I know. All right, because I know you are coming. Yes, very, very good. Yes, very, very audible. Very audible.
Okay. Okay, great.
Very audible.
I think there's a lag a bit, just
Yes, I can
slightly.
hear you very well. Very
Yes, I
well.
think there's a lag a bit, slightly. So I guess I would leave and then
Okay,
rejoin.
I asked a question. I said, please, in 1 minute, let us know what we are going to be expecting tonight.
Yeah. Okay. I guess Mr. Ugo's network tripped up just a bit. I believe everybody can hear me. But I would like to know if there's a lag. So please, can you confirm and can you help me confirm if you can hear me like right now? I don't know how to really do that, but I'm trying to see if there is a lag on my end. I need to know the rate at which you can hear me. So if you can hear me now, just type five. If you can hear me now, just type five, and I'll be able to uh, get to measure. If you can hear me now, just type five in the comments. Um, okay, good. So I guess mine is a bit more real time. All right. Okay, Mr. Ugo, you are back. Yes,
Yes, yes.
I was just trying to be sure that the lag was not from my end. Okay, so
Okay.
we're back. All right, great. Yes, thank you again for having me.
All right.
Today we are going to be. Hi, everyone, by the way, who is just joining. Thank you so much. I see you, Esther. I see you, Sunday. I see you, Pius. I see you, Ngozi. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Okay, so today we are going, just like the topic is, we're going to be learning about skills that can help you prosper in any economy predictably. Okay, so this is going to be prosperity indicators. Basically, what I'll be doing here today is breaking down two major concepts that have helped me since last year, even up to this year, right? To be able to get ahead in the things that I do, right? And I believe that they are also going to be as valuable to this community today, all right? So we are in for a great time, trust me. We certainly are in for a great time.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
so good to go.
That's great. All right. That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I really appreciate you for your time, for making our
Thank
time
you.
to join this
Sure
section.
thing.
I don't
Sure
take it
thing.
for
My pleasure.
granted. So I have two questions to ask you before we get
Okay.
into the business of today. I have two
Okay.
questions that I want to ask you. But before I do that, I would love to commend you on what you are doing. You are doing phenomenal well here, both online and offline. You are doing a great job. You
Thank
deserve
you.
a big accolade. Drum rolls.
Thank
So thank you for all you are doing. So I know I
you so
know
much.
you have made a lot of sacrifices to be where you are today.
Sure,
I
sure
know you have
thing.
made a lot of sacrifices to be where you are today. There are a lot of things that has happened. You have made a whole lot of sacrifices and discipline also. It does not take.
Sure.
It's not easy to do the kind of things you are doing tonight. And another thing that is working for you, that is greatly working for you, is that you are doing it young. Yes, you are doing it
That's
young.
it.
And when I was at your age, I don't know what I was doing that time. I was even wallowing in frivolities. I don't know. So so the first question I will ask is that, please, what made you choose this path? What made you decide that you want
Mm.
to pursue this career or to do this? Please let
Okay.
me know.
Awesome. Thank you very much for all of the accolades. I appreciate that. All right. So to your question,
Yes.
I'm not really sure if
Mm.
there was maybe a reason, but there were several factors that contributed. That I can say for a fact. All right. So, for instance, in my early
Yeah.
days, I mean, it's still early days, but in my much early days when I got started, I could remember vividly that
Yeah.
my mom
Yeah.
enrolled me for two trainings at the time when I was, I think, about 7 or 8 years old. she enrolled me for some computer training. I wasn't even qualified to be a part of that class at the time, but I mean, we did it anyway, right? And then when I was 16, about 8 years later, um, or 15, I guess, she enrolled me for a class on Canva design. So now I completed these classes at very critical moments of my life. Now, the second one, which was the Canva class, how to acquire skills in graphic design, very basic. Canva is not too complicated like that, right? So this happened, right at the time when I was just leaving or completing my senior secondary school education. So for me, it was perfect timing, right? And I had a whole year to myself to get before I could, get into focus on getting into the university, at the time. So I had a whole year, and I thought to myself, what better way, what other thing to do than to put these things that I've learned into some sort of practice, all right? And
Yeah.
and I literally, and I say this every single time,
So,
and the
what
very
better way,
next,
what other things to do that?
I think there's a feedback. I'm not sure. Okay, I think it's stopped now. So I say this every time. Um, the very next day that I left, secondary school, that was the day that I started. So I saw a video of a young guy. He was like 14 at the time, right? And you know, he was really doing cool stuff. He was super, super, super digitally skilled, and I was, impressed. And hey, I said, listen, this is a validation that I can also do this and do even more. So I said, okay, what do I have and what can I start with, right? And I discovered that okay, fine. I learned how to put graphics together. So I began to make some sort of quote designs on Twitter, and I began to put them out. And then a friend of mine saw it, and he was like, and at the time he wasn't my friend, obviously, but this guy sees it, and he's like, hey, I like what you're doing. You should probably connect with this person and that person, for people of your kind, right? These circles or these networks will be important to you. And I said, I was still very new, and I said, okay, you know what? I'll give this a try. So I began to go check out these people that he mentioned to me, and my mind was just blown, right? My mind was just blown. So I took it. I got even more challenged. It was just like going into like a rabbit hole or something, right? And I
Oh,
kept digging. I kept digging, and I was like, wow. So all of this is possible. And that was the first time I started hearing of concepts like digital marketing, social media, video editing, programming, web design, like several things, right? And I was, surprised to, hear about these things for the first time, and I was really, really excited. I had all the time in my hands, and I just kept putting it into learning what these things were about. So I began to follow different people. Then at some point, I remember, and I love to mention the communities that were helpful because it's really, really important for people on this call too. So at some point, someone else saw my work, but this time the person wasn't someone from the US or anywhere outside. It was the Nigerian so as well. And her name is Kemi Shola Ajetumobi. She's a fantastic network marketer. She saw my work and she was like, "Hey, you should be a part of this group called the Smart B Camp." And I'm like, "Okay, what's the Smart B Camp?" And she sends me the link to go check it out and everything. And I think this was around July, still July of 2016, thereabouts, right? And I go check out the link, and I see that it was a Facebook group, and it was a Facebook group that was, filled with people who were excited about things like personal development, excited about digital skills, excited about basically just getting ahead, right? Given the where we are, and so I was super excited, like I was amazed, like, oh my god, this is a tribe I need to belong to. And I, joined the group. And it was called Smart Camp at the time. Now it's known as Head Start Africa, right? So joined the Facebook group then in 2016, and I believe he was just like 5 months old then at the time because it was created in January of 2016. So it was just about 5 months old when I joined, right? And I connected with a lot of amazing people on there. There were so many interactions going on from book reviews, videos, webinars, trainings. So it was a lot, right? And I joined in. John Obidi, who is the leader of the pack there, it's amazing. He was doing a lot of trainings, right? And that gave me more pointers as to where I would focus my energy on, right? And then there was this thing called the Smart Business Teleseminars. Then, that used to happen every Thursday, 8 p.m. I can't forget 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. But I think it was 8 p.m. every Thursday. And it was a live audio broadcast that John used to do from his wherever he was, to everyone in the headset community, right? So, and every week on week, he will come with very amazing topics, very amazing speakers, and they'll just deliver, over deliver, if I must say. And it was really, really exciting to be a part of that. And so all of those things began to contribute to where I'm at today, because from one thing I began to discover the next thing, and then began to learn even more, because I noticed that these people were super skilled, right? So I had to force myself and challenge myself that, listen, if you're going to be a solid member of this kind of tribes, you would want to be as skilled, right? So I began to ask myself questions like, okay, what could I go learn and be good at? And I found that digital marketing was coming, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say easy, but it was something I was having fun learning about. And so I began to spend more time in that environment and began to pick up skills, over the course of many months, and today over 5 years now plus in the space. So that was literally the backstory. So it wasn't like I just woke up one day and was like, oh my God, I have to be focused, I have to be this, I have to be that. But it was just the timing of everything that I'm grateful for. I mean, yes, there can be other factors, but these are some of the critical ones that I can remember, because I know for a fact that if I wasn't enrolled by my mom for these trainings, right, I'm not sure if I would have come across some of the information that I have now. Maybe, but who knows? But I'm grateful for the fact that that happened, right? So I think it is important that we recognize these moments and know how to take advantage of them. So for someone who might be new to all of these things today, you're hearing me for the first time saying, "Hey, you need to go get digital skills for yourself." You have to now go and find out what that could be about, right? Because this might be your own moment that something spurs you to go down a particular path. And so here we are.
Fantastic. Well done, well done, well done. See, you have answered a lot of questions. When you said your mom led the way by enrolling you in a computer school.
Sure.
I hope I got that.
Yes.
That was one. Then secondly, being in a kind of enrolled the right environment and right company. Someone introduced you to Smart Big Camp, which is Start Africa today, and you started learning, going to digital marketing and stuff. Awesome. That's great journey. I wanted to ask you another question, but you have kind of answered most of the questions. I wanted to ask, what are the things that have really helped you to become the UK we know today? What are the things that really helped you to become the UK we know and doing great, phenomenal work today?
Yeah, I think that there would be some other answers that can contribute to that question too. So I guess I can mention the fact that things like and I think it's something that you already mentioned. I think discipline was one of them, because having to know that, listen, now you are here. There are certain things that you will have to trade off. Listen, I spent I do not want to call it an ungodly amount of time, but let me just say I spent a ridiculous amount of time in my zone when I began to discover this thing. I could spend hours. I haven't eaten. I have spending hours learning, hours consuming, and I'm giving up a lot here. By the way, giving up a lot socially, giving up a lot in other areas. So I had less time for other things, but I gained more time to invest into the me that is here today, and of course that will become. So I think that is really one thing that is hard for a lot of people when you're starting out, because you already have existing relationships, you already have you have a life already. So there's a certain way your life was already going, at that point. But if you're not willing to make that trade-off, that listen, I have to give up certain parts of this to get better or to achieve this other thing, then you're not ready.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the truth. You must be like all have to give. Once you're looking to get better at something, once you just discovered something that you want to absolutely dominate at, listen, there's always going to be a trade-off. That's how the life works, right? There's going to be a trade-off at that point. And I'm still very young in my early days, 21. Okay, so there's still many trade-offs that I'm still going to have to do along the way, and I am comfortable with that. I accept that, right? I realize that, and so once I know that, listen, I had to tell myself, I had to get more comfortable with writing because it was something I was trying to develop. I had to get more comfortable with videos because it was something I was trying to develop too. A skill I had to develop. So there was no room to now say, "Oh, I'm shy," or what will people say? I mean, those things were so irrelevant to me, and I kid you not. Maybe because of the amount of support that I had. Yes, I think that contributed, but they meant nothing. There was no time, almost no time, because I'm sure there must have been a time or two. But I was so tremendously confident in what I was doing that I just kept going. And so whether it supported me or not, it really didn't matter. I could, when they say you've seen the light, I had seen the light. I knew this was it, and absolutely nothing was going to be in my way. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing was going to be in my way. I was that, like, you would have to beg me to leave my desk. And now, to that, I didn't have all of the things that I needed. Here's another part, another thing that contributed. I didn't have all of the things that I needed. So if maybe today you're learning from somebody who maybe you look at their workstation is powered by amazing supercomputers, you look at the kind of devices that they're using, the gadgets and everything, and the fancy lights down and everything. Listen, that's not how we all started. That is not it. Like whatever you have today, where you have to start from. Okay. Now I remember that at the time, and now I've been so blessed. A lot of people do not like to give recognition to their privileges. That's fine, but I have been so blessed, especially, and that is why I always mention my mother. Right, I've been so blessed to have a lot of things, going for me, and so being able to use that to my advantage is something that I give myself credit for. Because a lot of people also have way more than I have or started out with, and do nothing with it. Okay, so now when I was starting out, there was this computer in our house. It was an old computer that no one was really using that much again. So basically, at the time, we just used to use it for games and stuff. And I brought my mother's old MCN modem there. I'm not supposed to be name dropping, but MCN sent me my check. So I borrowed that modem so that I could access the internet, right? And so I literally moved the computer from the computer room down to my room, lifted the entire thing there, and I was like, you know what, guys? All right, so game time is over. This for the next how many days of my life, this is where I'm going to be. I'm not leaving this place. So normally should go to work. So every morning before she goes to work, I would just go, borrow it, use it for the between the early morning and like 8, 9 a.m. and then she's off. So within that time, I have already pre-written my article for the day, because I also started out writing stuff online and really, really interesting, personal development related pieces. So I would prepare my article, quickly borrow it, put it up, on Facebook. I had no phone. It was just that computer. I had no phone. So that was the only way I was going to access the internet. So I'll do that. And then she would run off to work. I'll hand it back. And then I'll wait for her to get back, so that I can possibly respond to comments, nurture relationships, and just be social, right? So that went on for a while until I was able to have my first phone, again, thanks to my parents. So I had that. And then that very day that I got it, I made a video, right? And so I made this video, and I was so eager, like, to have it, right? So parents, if you are here, by the way, please contribute to your child's success. Okay, these things, digital stuff, are not a waste of money. I know sometimes you can feel that way because maybe you're not seeing immediate results, but please, if you know that your head is right, you'll be doing yourself a favor if you can contribute in any way that you can. Okay, I digress. So I made a video that day that my first phone, I think that was my first real smartphone came in. So I made a video, put it up on my Facebook, and that was it. So I think sometime in the evening of that day, I believe it was 1st of August, or sometime in August 2016 as well. So you see how fast I was moving. 2016, I haven't even left July, August, 2 months. A lot had already happened, right? So I published that video in August of 2016, and then later on in the evening, I checked my Facebook mentions and I see that a man named John Obidi shared my video in his group. And I'm like, okay. But before I even saw that notification, my phone was already blowing up, and I was like, okay, what's going on? I don't know what I've done. I don't know what crime I've committed. Is anything? Have I done something wrong or good? I'm not really sure, but I was getting a ton of messages and notifications, and I cannot understand. Then I figured out that he had posted the video, reposted the video in his group, and it was crazy. So that was where I began to build a lot of early connections that I have today. So, people encouraged me, and I believe that was even the first time I got money off the internet. Someone, Remy Owadokun, yes, can't forget her, sent me 5,000 naira as a way of encouragement. It was amazing. I
Wow.
was like, okay, this is a lot. There's a lot of support. So I built my early connections from there and began to learn more about what other people were doing, connecting with them, and just getting better. So from that point on, it exposed me to a lot of valuable people. By the way, it wasn't just random people. These were amazing, brilliant individuals. Many of them I still keep in touch with today, right? Um, it was a lot, right? So, and this was also because I was part of that circle, right? So I think that is a key factor too, right? Besides the discipline that you have to make trade-offs, right? Give up certain things to get better. I think also positioning, also matters a lot. So even if you don't have people to introduce you to such communities, go find them. Go literally find them. Go and type Facebook groups for this or Facebook groups for that. The things that you're interested in, and you would actually find them and connect to them, right? So um, uh, communities, tribes, they're really really important, and just testing. So I had nothing to lose, so I was just doing, putting out PCs,
Just
making videos.
experimenting. Yeah.
Exactly, just doing, just doing, just doing. I mean, I really could care less. I was just doing what anybody thought. I was just doing, right? But I was taking feedback and I was learning and I was improving. But I was majorly just doing, right? In the early stages, you don't have that much pressure, so you want to learn as fast as you can and be putting out things as fast as you can too, right? So that was I think that was really the background story, right? So that's the early days of how all of this, and so I
Mhm.
connected with the amazing people. I learned about what they were doing. I went and improved myself even more. So yeah.
Wow, great story, amazing story. One thing that stood out for me there was that you were doing it young and you were experimenting, nothing to lose, no pressure, nothing. You're just doing it. That's why I keep saying most of the people say age is just a number. No, age is not just a number. Age is how our life is being measured. Life is measured in time. So we have to, young people, please, I'm begging you, start early. Do it early. You can start early. I know why I'm saying this because people like us, how I wish we got such exposure, maybe at your age.
Mm-hmm.
So please, let's start early. Thank you so much for sharing these stories. It was a
Most
kind
welcome.
of curiosity, and I've satisfied my curiosity today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
For
So
sure, my
let's.
pleasure.
So going forward, if you have any question, put it in the comment section. We will do well to do justice to all of them before the end of this session. Please put it in the
Sure.
comment section. So please, can you now maybe go into the meet of today?
Okay. Yes, I can. All right. So everybody has enjoyed my origin story, my background story. It is
Yes,
time to
very wonderful story, inspiring
Yeah,
story.
it's time for the main dish now. Okay, so now I'll have you know that, of course, that is not where we stopped. We have evolved. I have gotten
Yes.
amazing at other things, courtesy of many factors, right? And so here we are today. Now, today we're going to be learning about prosperity indicators. Skills that can help you predictably prosper in any economy, guys. Whether it's a falling, crashing economy or a booming economy, this is very important. All right. And I'm going to be mentioning two of them. I'm very bullish on the second one, but the first one too is also very important. Okay. Now, what is the first thing within this prosper? What's the first prosperity indicator? Now, I like to call it aggregators. Now, it as something else, but I love to refer to it as aggregators. And I'll explain why I'm calling it that in a second. I'll explain why I'm calling it that in a second. All right. Now, aggregators basically are anything or are things that pull market forces in your favor. That's what it is. An aggregator is something that pulls market forces in your favor. So what does that mean? That basically means that you didn't have to do any work, right? But courtesy of an aggregator, it has pulled, a willing and ready market right there that you can simply reach probably from the click of a button, touch of a button, and the likes. Right? Now, you may know them as platforms, but there's a reason why I call them aggregators, and you can look up that term, right? But I love to see them as aggregators because they're not just platforms. Platforms, when you talk about platforms in that sense, it can seem like just a something that you step on top of to gain leverage, which of course it still is. Okay, but when you also look at it as an aggregator, you now begin to connect it with business in a way. So as an aggregator, it is pulling market forces in your favor. Right now, on this platform where you're watching this, there are billions of people on it. There are billions of people on it. You did not go out to find any of those people to come and sign up. Maybe you told a friend or two, oh, hey, sign up on Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, but the bulk of the work, 99.9% of the work, was done by the platform itself. Okay, making them an aggregator. So they pull these billions of people in your favor because these people are there and you can reach them by just today we're reaching how many people by just hitting go live. How crazy is that? Right? In the past would have had to go pay for a space physically, hand out flyers, encourage people to come, follow up with them, get a compare, make sure the place is well lit, arrange everything, take care of provide for refreshments and make sure everybody's okay just so we can have a session. But today, there is a platform, or there are platforms now where billions of people have been pulled together from wherever part of the world they were in, and with a touch of a button, go live, post now, publish my ad, or one thing or the other, you can reach those people. Guys, do not joke with such um, platforms, right? Once you find such things that exist, it is just screaming opportunity. That's it. It is literally just screaming opportunity. Okay. Now, and here's another thing that is fundamental. Where there is a market, there is a representation of needs. Where there is a market, there is a representation of needs. So Facebook is a market, right? As you are here today, Instagram is a market, LinkedIn is a market, okay? Because there are a lot of people trooping in there every single day and just moving about looking for the things that interest them. It's just like how you go to the market physically. At least you will be hoping to go to the market and looking out for the things that you went there to buy, right? So maybe you came there, you wanted to buy XYZ thing, you will be going to XYZ stores. And so there's a certain mentality that people have when they come on Facebook. There's a certain mentality that people have when they go on LinkedIn, right? So these aggregators are different, but they still remain marketplaces. And for the fact that they're marketplaces, there is a representation of needs, meaning those billions of users and hundreds of millions of users that they have all have different needs that you're trying to meet. And so if you can find a niche to be able to serve within that marketplace, you will be pulling a lot of this attention to yourself now and profiting from it. Okay, so for instance, how let's test this theory a little bit. So during the pandemic, right, things were crashing and going down and a lot was happening, but platforms remained. They were even spring up of new platforms like Clubhouse, and people were doing amazing numbers on Clubhouse. So they would go on Clubhouse, host an audio live session, people would connect with them, buy their services and different things. That was all happening in a crashing economy. Crazy. That was happening when the whole world was saying, oh my God, everything is down and this and that. So, but that was still happening. Why? The existence of
some platforms.
Yeah.
Some even started cashing in big time.
Exactly.
Like Zoom.
Like Zoom. Thank you. So everybody and their mother now knew about Zoom and were forced to adjust to Zoom life, right? And their stock was just skyrocketing. So whether it's a crashing economy, whether it's a booming economy, these things work. When you can recognize that platforms would always exist, and these aggregators would always exist, right? They will keep pulling market forces in your favor because that is their business model. Your job is now to be able to be skilled enough to show up on these platforms to execute and offer what you have or present the value, the solution that you have. That is your job, right? They are not saying, oh, hey, go and market and bring people on here. Don't worry, leave that part to us. We'll do the heavy lifting. So in any economy, let your eyes always be focused on where are the people gathering? Where is the attention now? Okay, because that is always going to happen. So where is everybody converging now? Okay, yes, we're all wailing that this is happening, but okay, can I step back for a minute and figure out where everybody's running to? Because even if we're all running, we're going to be running we're going to be running somewhere, right? So we're all looking for a shade someplace. So, oh, okay, it's Clubhouse. I can't make it really comfortable. Okay, fine. So, and with the advent of Zoom too as well, more people began to get into the public speaking space because now the barrier of entry, the cost of entry was really, really low, right? Because now you could just go whip up Zoom, make a simple flyer, and then boom, you have people attending your live session, all right? And some were also even charging for it too. So it opened up different pipelines, okay? So in any economy, always look out for the aggregators, those big, behemoth platforms that are pulling market forces. They're having a ton of users. Go there, find a way to align and profit from it. Now, the most common way that you can do this currently today would be social media and Google. Now, with these two platforms, right, or aggregators, as I like to call them, there are several skills that you can provide to be able to get ahead and profit from it. Okay, so you have digital marketing itself. And now digital marketing is such a broad concept because you have several sub skills within each one. So um, you have advertising, you have which is also media buying, you have the creative side of things, you have copywriting, you have video production. So there's a lot, right? And guess what? People have these needs. Remember, where there is a marketplace, it means that it's a representation of needs. So people have these needs, and so you just serve them with it. Okay. So do not say that, oh, this social media thing is not for me, or this YouTube thing, or this Google thing. Where there is a market, guys, there is always a representation of needs. So it is now your job to figure out what you can be skilled at, good enough at to provide value for and profit from. Because there's no other way. There's just really no other way around it per se. Because let's assume that you go on Google now and you want to say, oh, hey, how do I make money online? It's simple. Don't let anybody confuse you. The game is still the game. What value are you going to be able to offer? And before you can offer that value, you need to be skilled at something. So what skill first am I going to go and learn? How do I upskill myself? What value would I create courtesy of that skill? How would I offer it? And then how will I profit from it? The same thing, right? So let's not make anything complex. That's how aggregators work, and that's how you can take advantage of them in any economy. There will always be platforms, very hot ones that are pulling a lot of people together. So you just go there and serve them, right? Okay. So that is the first one. That is the first prosperity indicator that I love to talk about. But the second one now is something that is not so talked about that I would love to bring to everybody's attention. And that second one is something I call trends. 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 Now I know the saying, don't follow the trend. Don't follow the trend. Be unique. Be different. That is good. That is cute even. But listen, the thing about trends is that it's kind of like a predictor. They tell you what is happening and where people are moving towards. Now, has anybody here heard about concepts like cryptocurrencies, metaverse, Web 3.0? Yeah, that is a trend. Hello, that is a trend. Take notes. It is trying to tell you the conversations that are happening now and where the world is going. Okay, so I know the saying of don't follow the trend, but do not throw away the trend. Even if you do not want to follow the trend, don't throw it away. It's very, very important. Okay, during the rise of social media, those that were able to spot those trends and actually make a solid position where everybody was going are profiting heavily today. Now, I want you to pay attention to trends in every economy, whether a good economy, whether it's a bad economy. Pay attention to trends, and that includes Nigeria. Okay, that includes Africa. That includes the globe. Pay attention to trends. And now there are several trends. The trend is not just a single thing. You know, there's a trend right now going on in the social space. All right, there's a trend going on in the finance space, cryptocurrencies. There are trends going on in the business world, right? There are trends going on in career. Okay, so there are trends in different facets of life, which makes it, which distributes so much opportunity, right? So whether you want to take advantage of trends in the workplace to get ahead, you can do that. Whether you want to take advantage of trends in business to get ahead, you can do that. Whether you want to take advantage of trends in finance, you can do that. So there are trends even in business. There are several, business is so distributed. There are several industries. So there are trends within each one too. Okay. Now I'm going to be giving us examples of different trends and how, and share my story, of course, of how I was able to profit from them so that it can give you an idea, an insight into how these things work, right? And remember, these things work in any economy because in any economy, two things will always, have always been present, both a good and bad economy. There are always going to be platforms. So there are always going to be places where people hang out. So maybe back in the old days, it was that, okay, everybody was just going to sit back and watch TV. All right, go figure out how you can leverage TV to your advantage. Okay, so today we have a lot of platforms, and so there will always be platforms. That's, remember, number one, always going to be platforms. Now, two, there are always going to be trends, which means people are always going to take certain actions in mass. People are always going to take certain actions in mass, and that mass volume is where the opportunity is, right? That mass volume is where the opportunity is. So I'll give you an example. Now, there's a trend called, and it's a global trend. It's a trend called remittance. If you've not heard about it before, please go look it up. Very important. The trend called remittance. Now, remittance basically is the amount of inflow, of money to an economy from foreigners or from outsiders, basically, people who are not residents currently. So, and to remit something means, of course, to turn in something, right? So remittance, the remittance trend was something I studied heavily early in the year. So I began to dig and began to study, and now my major in the university was accounting. So of course, my finance background tends to play a lot to the kind of things that I pay attention to. So I paid attention to the remittance trend, and I began to discover that Nigeria was losing billions in remittance figures, in remittance numbers. But the truth is, it didn't mean that all of a sudden Nigerians in the diaspora stopped sending money back home. No, that's not what it meant. So yes, the trend was that they were no longer sending in money to Nigeria via the traditional means that we knew about. But I was confident that they were still sending money because the overall remittance figures were still up. So, but it was not a question of, okay, so now if they're not sending money through the traditional means that we know, through the local banks, then how are they doing it? Right? And I began to study that trend. So I paid close attention to it. And now remittance figures, guys, is in billions of dollars. Not billions of naira, billions of dollars. Right? So I began to follow that trend. And I discovered that these billions had shifted from traditional coming in through the traditional money transfer services to new financial frontiers such as cryptocurrencies. And I was like, okay. So, all right, that's fine. So billions is moving now through cryptocurrencies into the country. But how are they doing it exactly? Began to put two and two together, began to study even more. Now this remittance trend, the figures are out there. You can go to CBN's website and go find it. They're really out there. It's not hidden. Trust me. Okay. So that forced me to understand not just what this cryptocurrency thing meant as a store of value or just, the traditional aspects of it, but I began to understand it too from the part of remittance, from the part of currency flow. So when I discovered the exact way that people were doing these things, and now there was something I also understood was the fact that it was still a novel way that remittance was being done, and so many people did not understand how it worked, right? So I said, okay, now how do I step in here because this is heavy flow. How do I connect to this pipeline? How do I pitch my tent here? And so I discovered that okay, it was fantastic. The fees were super low. That was one reason that motivated people. It was super cheap to do, and it was almost instant, right? So I began to educate people on that model and take a commission for helping them to be able to use that channel to move money seamlessly. And they were amazed how fast they could do it. Speed of light, just like this, right? They were able to do it. They were able to do that, right? So that was how I was able to plug into that. Okay, and I would not have been able to if I did not study that trend. Okay, if I didn't study that trend. So I'm not going to be able to announce numbers in terms of volume that we did, but that one is a bit private. But this is just to give you the idea, right? Now, so that's one. Another trend.
Yes. You became a broker.
Yeah, another trend. Inflation. Now, inflation is a trend. Yes. While it is an economic statistic, it is also a trend. Now, what is inflation? Inflation is basically, the decrease in the value of a currency, as a result of a corresponding price increase, right? As a result of a corresponding price increase. Now, I wish there was a video. I wish I sent this video in to be put up here. But there's a video I love so much that explains the inflation. So okay, please give me 1 sec. Let me explain it with this. Let me explain it with this. I think I have some Naira notes here, so I could easily do this. All right. So this is a 200 Naira note. Right? Now this is what November 2021, and this is a 200 Naira note. Now, maybe in let's give it I don't know, maybe 6 months. Let's assume in 6 months' time, what you could buy for 200 Naira, what you could buy for 200 Naira was no longer what you could buy for Naira, but it was now worth just as little as 50 Naira. That's how inflation works. So you have 200 Naira in November 2021. You could take it to the market and buy 20 things, right? Or 200 things. Let's keep it simple, 200 things. But in 6 months, somehow you still take the same 200 Naira, but it feels as though you took 50 Naira because you could only get 50 things. I don't even know if anybody can relate. I know very well that and I know very well that we've all had experiences where you go to the store and you're like, oh hey, I'd like to get this thing, and they tell you, oh, price has changed, though, it's no longer this price, it's now that price, and suddenly you can't buy the same quantity that you could buy with that same amount. You now have to buy lesser, right? So maybe it was 1,000 Naira before, you could buy 10 pieces of sweets. All of a sudden 1,000 Naira can only get you 9 pieces. You say, now wow, things on the cost, oh god, they no wala, give me the 9 sweets now, the 9 sweets and go. Now you can no longer afford 10 sweets again. Same 1,000 Naira. So that's how inflation works. It reduces the value. Nobody takes away this 200 Naira notes from me. It is still mine. It is still with me. I take it to the same market. Just that 6 months later, I can't buy 200 things again. I can only suddenly buy 50 things. That means that this 200 Naira is just 200 Naira on paper, but technically only just worth 50 Naira. Because it's only getting me 50 items. Of course, Nigerian currency can never get 50 items with 200 Naira and 50 Naira. I'm just saying, right? So, so I could get 200 items with this. All of a sudden, I go to the market 6 months later, I'm only able to buy 50 things. That means this is the real value of my 200 Naira notes. Even though I took the 200 Naira notes, but technically it is worth this. So inflation is such a tax on its own, if I must say. But and it's weird in the sense that you do not lose your money, like physically. Nobody comes to rob you. The value just decreases and diminishes, and in at your very eyes, poof, it's gone.
Yeah.
I remember I used to buy eggs for around 40 Naira at the earlier parts of this year, but today it's 17 naira, 16 naira, 17 naira. Now, I mean, 16 naira, when you look at it, it's like, yeah, I would still afford it. Yeah, more change. But guess what? What you are not paying attention to there is you were buying at 14 naira before. All of a sudden, you're buying at 16 naira. Do you know that that is a 50% price increase? Did your salary increase by 50% between January and now? That you're going to be paying 50% more for items? Think again. Think again. You were able to buy something for 14 naira at the start of the year. Now it is 16 naira. You are saying, okay, God day, we will manage. Shouldn't I just 16 naira? We will buy them. No problem. You can afford it, but please take note of the fact that now you have to pay 50% more for the same item. Now,
Yeah.
once you realize that, ask yourself a question. Did my income grow by at least 50%? So whatever I was earning in January, am I earning at least 50% more? If you are not, it simply means that you are covering that bill from your existing income, and you're technically just losing money because the value of your currency or the value of your money that you have on hand is reducing. Okay, and now you can't stop inflation. Trust me, you cannot stop inflation. Oh, hi Steven, I see you. I have to salute Steven. Fantastic guy. Okay, so you can't stop inflation, right? Can't. It's basic. It's going to happen. But you can protect yourself. That is where you profit from the trend. The protection, it's called hedging. HEDGE. How you hedge against inflation is a money maker in itself. Right? Because now that I've broken down this concept of how 200 naira could get you 200 things, but all of a sudden you go to the market and you're only able to purchase 50 things, which means it's now worth this. If I tell a business owner, hey, did you know that with the inflation figures, your money is only going to be worth this percent less in a certain time frame, they'll be livid. They'll be looking for a way to protect themselves, and that is where you come in. So if you have a solution for that, that is where you can sell. Right now, today the official figures for inflation, I think, is about 17% per the CBN. These numbers are out there per the CBN. So if going by the CBN's numbers, right, it means that 1,000 naira today would be worth 830 naira by the end of the year, right? 1,000 naira in January will be worth 830 naira by the end of the year. Okay, you would still have your 1,000 naira note. Keep in mind, guys, you will still have your 1,000 naira note. But when you go to the market, best believe, you would only get the value of 830 naira worth of goods for that 1,000 naira note, right? So that's the difference. Now, how do you hedge against inflation? That is where the money maker is. Different things. Now, you could take advantage of two things. Number one, um, uh, uh, a, you can take advantage of modern financial products to protect the money that you already have, and you can also take advantage of remote working opportunities. So that was the reason why, or this has been a major reason why a lot of people, would champion the earning dollars campaign or earning a foreign currency campaign. The reason why they were doing that is not because they hate the naira. No, it is just the fact that the trend numbers are stating or showing that we're losing a lot of money in terms of the value of our currency. But if we can earn in a stronger currency as well, we'll be able to supplement that loss. Okay. So for instance, let's assume that you were earning $1,000 in January per month. Okay. Now $1,000 in January per month would be 400 and about 450,000 naira. Today would be about 500 and maybe 550,000. So that's an extra 100K. Now you have an extra 100K. You're still earning the same $1,000, but you now suddenly have an extra 100K to take care of your needs. That is, if you're spending all of it, to take care of your needs, right? That you would naturally wouldn't have had. But if you were earning 450K in naira, you still be earning the same 450K today. But all of a sudden, you would now have to cough out an additional 100K to take care of your needs because the currency has lost value, right? And that's because of inflation, right? The prices of things have gone up, which means that there's lesser value in the money that you're holding. But if you're earning in a different currency and spending in a lesser denominated currency, you would have more power, you have more purchasing power. So inflation generally just reduces your purchasing power, plain and simple. It just reduces your purchasing power, right? So that is why earning in a different currency works. Now, how do you earn in a different currency? Not everybody knows that. So when you can figure that out and offer that as a service or offer that as a product, boom, now you can cash in on that trend, right? So you have people who teach Fiverr master classes to help people get into the remote working space. They are taking advantage of what trend now? The inflation trend, and profiting from that. Because now it is no longer a want, it is something that people need. They actually need it because they want to protect themselves. Right? So you see how this thing works? That's how you take advantage of trends. Okay? Now I'm going to give you the third trend. And this one is particular to business owners. Now this third trend is the exchange rate. Called the exchange rate. The exchange rate. And the exchange rate is basically how the value in which one currency exchanges for the other. So let's assume this was a $50 note, and and miraculously, this 200 naira note was equal to this $50 note. Please, this is not naira for the sake of this illustration. No. This is $50. So let's just assume that 200 naira was worth $50, or $50 was worth 200 naira. We hope that comes to pass someday, but let's just, for the sake of this illustration, let's assume that's the case. So we have $50 here, and we have 200 naira, and they are one and the same. So if you want to go and convert it, they will either give you $50, you take $50, they give you 200 naira, right? Good. Now that is how exchange rates work. Okay, the price at which a currency exchanges against the other. But now, when you go and look at the trend again, these numbers are out there on CBN's website. If you're a business owner, you want to take advantage, and you want to pay attention to business trends, especially business and finance trends, right? Now, when you go and look at the data, you will see that around this time last year, the naira was exchanging to the dollar at about 300 and something, maybe 360 something, 370 something, 380 something. But guess what? It is exchanging today at the black market for about 550 naira, 540 naira thereabouts. So if you do the math, 380 naira, from 540 naira, it's like 160 naira difference, which is technically a 42% loss. Sad, but true. So whatever amount you were storing in naira last year, if you still have it in naira today, it just means, I'm sorry, but it just means that globally, that money is worth like 42% less. That is crazy. So you're telling me that my 1 million naira last year is now worth 420,000 naira globally this year. Again, you were not robbed, guys. Nobody came to take your 1 million. Nobody, right? It just happened. And I'm running the numbers here now. It just happened that all of a sudden, you no longer had that much purchasing power. So you would take a million naira last year, they will give you $2,500. You go this year, they will give you $1,800 and something dollars. Just like that, you lost $700. It's crazy. Now, that is a trend in itself. Okay, it's something that was happening with the economy. So my mind began to default into asking the questions of, okay, now this is where we are at. Okay, now what is the way out from there? Two things. Can you protect that money in a different currency, which means save it in a different currency? And how do you make sure that your business profits going forward is reserved in a different currency? Okay. That got me thinking. There has to be a way out. There has to be a solution for this. So I discovered that today anybody could, both individuals and business people, could maintain a reserve in a different currency. Stronger one at least. Right? Now, if you look at these financial technology apps, they began to offer, saving dollars products within their apps, right? Why were they doing that? And they didn't even need to market it too hard. Everybody was seeing the trend. So they didn't even need to over market and say, oh, you should probably think of it. It was not a consideration. It was nothing that people had to debate over. It's just taking action and pulling the trigger, right? So this application and these companies began to offer saving dollar products to individuals. But then for corporates, businesses now needed to learn how to keep a dollar denominated reserve. Listen, you are not the only company that does business in Nigeria. But let me tell you the truth. There are a lot of heavy companies, your favorite companies that you love, that have dollar denominated reserve, pound denominated reserves. Why are they doing this thing? Not because they hate Nigeria. It's just asset protection. It's as simple as that. Asset protection is a business model on its own. Okay? And it's a way to profit from it, because now this information is not out there publicly. Not everybody understands this. Not every business owner understands this. So that's a market opportunity. It's a market opportunity for education. It's a market opportunity for services. It's a market opportunity for products. And I'm still going to explain. Now, when you figure that, okay, for individuals, you could just simply use a fintech app, save in dollars. Okay, great. Now, I remember when I pulled the plug and said, listen, a lot of my naira was going to be kept in some dollar reserve. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. That time, the dollar was still around 420, 430, 440 to the naira. Guess what, guys? It's now 540. So all my naira has now gained 100 naira on top, just like that. I'm making that decision to protect myself. Okay. Now, for businesses, how you protect yourself from this is a little known secret known as offshore company incorporation. Offshore company incorporation. All right. Offshore company incorporation. Now, what that means is the very business that you're running right now from, say, Nigeria or wherever else that you're running it from, you will take that same business and incorporate it in a different country. And the reason why you're doing that is so that you can be able to take advantage of their banking protocols and their banking solutions. Now, when you take advantage of their banking solution, they allow you to maintain your reserve in dollars. Right? Thank you so much, Favor. I appreciate that comment. I really love that. Thank you so much, Luis. They allow you to maintain your reserve in dollars. So now every month as you do business, let's say that you're earning a stable 100,000 naira in profit, not revenue, profit. Let's say you're earning 100K in profit since January. Now with your offshore company incorporated, you can now take that 100,000 naira in profit and funnel it to your offshore reserve, maintain it in a different currency. Now, 100,000 naira that you would have kept offshore, let's run the numbers, guys. 100K that you would have kept offshore in January would have been $238. Today, that same 100K is worth $178. So just because you took that decision, guess how much you've made in the economy? $60. You earned $60 more on your January profit. You did not work an extra month. You did not incur any other additional costs. You were just business smart. You were just savvy. You took the right decision. That was it. And you earn another $60, on your profit. So $60, let's assume you were doing that consistently for 12 months. It means you earn $720 additionally. And by the end of the year, when you now convert that money, it's like 300 and almost 400,000 naira. So you earn almost 4 months profit just by protecting what you already had. You earn 4 months more. You don't have to, your employees didn't have to work for, you didn't have to pay salary for 4 more months. You didn't have to incur 4 months worth of cost or operational cost. You didn't have to do anything of course, you don't even have 16 months in a year. You all have 12 months. It's not as if maybe somehow magically you got access to 4 more months than the rest of us did, right? But you just earned 4 months worth of profit from protecting your income. That is super smart. If you ask me, that is super smart. You didn't have to sell a product, so you didn't even have to bother about inventory, shipping, services, delivery, nothing. Just understanding what the trend was at the time, and seeing how you could profit from it and protect yourself. So now that is how the business owner can directly protect themselves and profit from it. But now for guys like myself and others who saw it as also a market opportunity to not just educate people, but also create services and products around it, you would also profit more, because when you enlighten people about these things, they'll build a trust with you and they'll be willing to work with you to get this done. And there's a price for that. Okay, so now you can profit off of that trend too. right? So I'm going to break it down again because this is like one of the most important things I preach so much today. How offshore reserves work. I don't know if anybody here knows of the concept called tax havens. And I'll mention tax soon as another trend, but I don't know if anybody here has heard of the concept called tax havens. Tax Havens, havens. Now, basically, what tax havens are, they are locations in planet Earth where the big companies of the world, all your favorites, go and set up companies. Why are they doing that? They go and set up subsidiaries there to be able to protect themselves from paying higher taxes, right? From paying higher taxes. So they go and take what they have, and there's a way that it is done, orchestrated in a manner that they have to pay lower, they fall in a lower tax bracket and pay lower taxes and protect more of their income, right? But that's a story for another day. So back to company incorporation, right? So we're able to create a service for that, which we still have running till today because it's something that a lot of business owners need, right? And profit from that. Okay, so offshore company incorporation is such a gold mine, and this would not be preached on every corner. Why? It is something that's going to be profitable for you as a business owner, and I don't think it's something that they would want to preach to you for you to get done. Okay, but if you study the trends, you will see where everything is going. So while everybody is wailing and complaining, look at how the naira is today. I cannot believe it is now 500 and something. We used to be here. That's cool. It's good to complain and lay out your grievances. That's okay. Listen, where you find that everybody's talking about a particular thing, that is a trend in itself. So and there is an opportunity there. So I mean, businesses are formed or created from the backbone of problems, right? Businesses are formed on the backbone of problems. So if people are complaining about a certain thing, it simply means that it's an opportunity there. It's an opportunity there. So it's now your job to be able to figure out what it is exactly. Yes, it's a legit way to avoid taxes. Yes, tax havens. That's basically the concept of tax havens, right? So company incorporation for the average business owner is amazing. And now here's the thing: it might come at a cost, but you cannot even justify the cost within the shortest possible amount of time. So let's assume that you wanted to do, thank you so much, company incorporation in January. Company incorporation in January would have cost you roughly maybe 170,000. But today, the amount that you would have needed to get it done um, has grown by a lot. Trust me, within the same year. So if you think that it is expensive to do, guess what? The truth is, within the shortest possible time, you will find that that was actually even a steal. And so you get it done once, and you get the benefits thereon for as long as you can. Right? And the amazing thing about it is that you don't even have to be present in those countries that you're incorporating in. For instance, you can incorporate a company today in the USA, in the UK. You don't have to be present there, physically present. Right? They have business policies that favor non-resident businesses. Right? And thank God for economies like that. They have favorable business policies that support non-resident businesses. So you can incorporate a non-resident business. You're still operating your business from here from Nigeria, and they have such a beautiful tax implication. So you don't even have to worry too much about taxes. They have such a very beautiful tax implication for non-resident based businesses. Okay, and almost any industry can get in or can get that done, right? So it's really, really, really amazing. Okay, these opportunities, right? Now I've mentioned three trends here, and listen, guys, the truth is these trends have not even been taken advantage of enough. So there's still a lot of space. We have millions, tens of millions of business owners in Nigeria alone. How much more Africa? And if we are trying to onboard them into the global economy and have them to be incorporated abroad, trust me, there's still a lot of ground to cover. Okay, and one company can do it all. Two companies can do it all, right? So there's still a lot of ground to cover. Okay, so remittance figures, inflation rates, exchange rate. These are three common trends that will forever be profitable opportunities. Forever, because they are activities that happen day in, day out. So every day someone abroad wants to send money home, right? Every day somebody from here wants to send money abroad. Every day, inflation is happening. Every day, the exchange rate is changing. So there are ongoing activities, right? Now, I'm going to give about 2 or 3 bonus trends that we can take a look at. 2 or 3 bonus trends that we can go do more research at on rather. Okay, now number one, which I already hinted on, is taxes, right? Now, now the whole concept of taxation is going to be tax havens. We can figure out what tax havens are, how they work. Maybe you can put a service around that, but it's a very profitable trend to study. And disclaimer: most of my trends are going to be financially based, so forgive me for that, or do not forgive me because I'm not sorry actually. But I just love finance, so there are a lot of trends in that sector. Okay, so taxes very important, right? Now, um, uh, tax havens are an amazing concept. Trust me, the biggest players in any industry that you can think of, takes advantage of a tax haven. It's not their fault that the tax code was written that way, where that gives them the ability to leverage tax havens. I mean, it's not even a hidden concept. Everybody knows this, right? So, and it's completely legal too, right? So they hire the best lawyers, consult the best people to be able to get it done. So you can go to study that trend. Yeah, exactly, right? Not too many competition. So you can go study that and take advantage of it. Another very important trend is something I call not something I call actually, that's what it's called. It's called FDI. That's the acronym, FDI. Foreign Direct Investment. Foreign Direct Investment. Now, what is foreign direct investment? Foreign direct investment is pretty simple. It is simply where investor inflow into an economy is being allocated to. So, for instance, an investor comes to Nigeria and has 200 naira. He wants to invest 1 naira in the Nigerian economy. He will now say, okay, I would invest 50 naira of this 200 naira in the agricultural sector. And maybe another 60 naira in the education sector. Then I would look for opportunities in the tech sector and invest 100 naira. And then, okay, that's about it. So now, when you go and look at the foreign direct investment figures, you see the sectors that are booming with a lot of heavy investor flow. So you see that, oh, okay, a lot of money is going to the tech sector. Okay, now how can I plug into the tech sector? A lot of money is going into the agri-tech sector. How do I plug in there? A lot of money is going to, so you begin to find the opportunities even before that, even before they go mainstream, right? Because the companies within this sector that are taking all of this money are happy doing so, and before they will come to you to create some sort of opportunity that could work for the public, you can already get into the game, right? So foreign direct investment is a good trend to study because it basically tells you where the money is. It tells you where the money is, where money is going to, right? And shows you where opportunity lies. So, and the thing about trends is that it's not really a beautiful thing to do. I mean, who just wants to wake up and start researching trends? It's not really fun, trust me. It's not fun, but it's profitable and it's doable, right? So, from the simplest trend to the most complex, you don't even have to really bother yourself about the most complex. You can take advantage of the simple ones, just like company incorporation abroad that I mentioned, offshore company incorporation, right? That's an amazing trend. To me, I think it's such a low hanging fruit actually that anybody can take advantage of, right? But it's still good to know about many others too, right? So with FDI, you get to see where money is being put into. You get to see where the flow is going to, and you can plug in there. Now, if you look at the numbers around import and export in the country, for instance, you would see that there's about tens of billions of dollars is spent between import and export actually. Now, if an industry is seeing tens of billions of dollars, that should tell you something. People are buying. So if they're importing for somebody to buy. If they're exporting on behalf of vendors to sell to somebody else to buy. So if you can take out the time to figure out what these kind of products people are importing and exporting are, maybe you can take advantage. So now, what's a common example there? E-commerce. E-commerce, right? So if you go break down the numbers and see that okay, oh, import and export thing, be like say XYZ sector is what people are importing the most. Okay, maybe I can start a side hustle or a main business around e-commerce for products in this niche that people are heavily importing or people are heavily exporting, right? And you plant your pitch your tent there and take advantage of that. It's possible for you. Yes, yes. I love this comment. Offshore company incorporation helps you scale the third world first, right? Because you get access to a lot of things. All of those, oh, sorry, we are not, we are launching in your country soon. Join our wait list. Nonsense. It is gone. You don't have to. You do not have to experience that again because you just get in the door and experience. You get access to first world technologies, first world business technology. You worry less about several things. Several things will not matter to you again about in your business because you have so much protection, right? You have so much protection. So, yeah. So those are two bonus trends that you can mention. As a recap, I mentioned 5 trends on this call: remittance figures, inflation rates, exchange rates, taxation, FDI, right? Imports and exports. Okay, so I think I gave 3: imports and exports. A very powerful trend. Imports and exports, right? So these and if you notice, all of these businesses are not Instagram selfie worthy. All of these trends are not Instagram selfie worthy. Well, what do I mean by that? They're not really beautiful. Okay, so it's not something that you just wake up and say, "Oh, hey guys, I'm now in this sector. I'm now taking advantage of opportunities here." It's not something that's really, really beautiful. Okay, but very profitable, right? And the reason for that is heavy dollar flow, heavy, amount is passing through these channels, passing through these trends, and you can take a piece of the pie too. No one's stopping you. You can take a piece of that pie. All right. So, yeah. So that is my 2 cents on how you can prosper predictably or predictably prosper in any economy by taking advantage of these two things: aggregators and the power of trends. With aggregators, I mentioned social media, I mentioned Google itself, and how you can acquire digital skills or acquire new skills that you can create value off of and profit from. And then when it came to trends, I showed you how you can study the numbers behind the trend and how you can profit from it. I made mention of 5: remittance, inflation, exchange rates, tax, FDI, foreign direct investment, import, and export. Okay, guys, I believe this has been fantastic if I do say so myself. So let the floor be open for questions. I am done.
Whoa! I'm clapping, clapping. Thank you so much.
Awesome,
This
my
is
pleasure.
massive value. This is massive, so massive. In fact, we are in a master class on global finance. That's that should have been the best caption for this session. Global finance. You took us on a journey on how to leverage a lot of things that is happening on the offshore world. Thank you so much. This is massive. I'm just
My
taking
pleasure.
notes. A lot of things you said today, I really need time to digest all of them. I know most of us are on this call. We really need time to digest some of these
Yes,
things you mentioned here today. So this is powerful. So much information, superior
my
information.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
My
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. So if you have any question, please put it in the comment section so we can attend to it right now. If you have any question, you have done amazingly well. You started by showing us the indicators, the aggregators, and the trends. So much, so much. You have said a lot. The aggregators being the platforms we know, all these social media platforms we know about, how we can leverage about it, and showcase whatever we are doing. Thank you so much. And the trends.
Yeah.
So now we should now start. We should start to follow the trends. No longer don't follow the trends. You should follow
Exactly.
the
Look
right
at the
trends
trend.
to
Exactly.
help
Study the
you
trend and
move
see
your
how you can
business to
take
the next
advantage.
level. Thank you
Yes.
so much. I really appreciate you. Do you have any question? Do we have any question? Thank you, Favor Korokere. You have been so awesome on this call. Thank you so much. Do you have any question?
Oh, okay.
Question.
How you
I'm still
reach
looking whether
me?
I can see your question.
Yes, Favor is asking how she can reach me.
Okay.
My Instagram would
Yeah.
be the fastest way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
In the
I'm not
absence
sure I
of
can.
any question, I think
I
we'll call it
no,
a day.
Favor
You have really spent
question.
so much. You have really spent so much time. 1 hour,
Yeah.
22 minutes.
You can reach me on Instagram at
Okay.
UKJuniors, UKEJNR, UKEJNR
Yeah.
on Instagram. You can send me a DM there, and
Yeah.
then we can connect. UKEJNR, Instagram at
Yeah.
UKEJNR. That's my handle.
Yeah.
Maybe let me see if I could join in from my phone and leave it in the comments there.
Let me see what I can put it on here.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Okay.
great.
It's here.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
So yeah, that's it. UKEJNR
Oh.
on Instagram. You would find my handsome face and send me a DM. Get to connect.
Yeah. Follow him up. If you want to build a global business with the right tools, follow him on Instagram. And also, he can help you solve your payment issues, all the issues you're having with making payments internationally. It will help you to solve it. Remittance, as he mentioned today, it will hook you up. And if you want to register a business in the United States or United Kingdom, he made mention of it. He will also do that for you. So thank you so much. Okay, fantastic. Okay, phenomenal. Okay, for coming through tonight. I really appreciate your
My
time.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Really excited to hear.
Let me just allow you to go and read because you are giving us massive value. This is too much. We need like 2 years to download the information you are giving tonight. I'm telling you the truth. We need like 2 years to download some of this information. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Okay,
All right. Bye bye. See you on the other side. Thank you.
All right.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, this is so amazing. So amazing. Thank you, everyone that joined this live broadcast tonight. Amina Grace, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Favor Kuro Kennedy, thank you for being the scribe tonight. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Sunday Oko. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Esther. Esther, my French teacher. I'm coming for your class. Portuguese. How to learn Portuguese. I'm coming for the class. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you, every one of you that joined tonight's session. I really appreciate you. And tomorrow we are going to be doing a recap on what we have done throughout this week. So on Monday, I'm going to bring another wonderful guest all through the next week. So stay tuned on this channel as we keep dishing out the value. Today, you can see so much value was given from Uke. So much. I really appreciate him. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining tonight. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. Whoa. This is